So I've covered setting up Plan 9 style diskless terminals with 9front. However, not everyone can be bothered with using up a whole computer just to be a terminal. Most of the time when I'm making videos, I don't use any terminals. I use Drawterm. So Drawterm is a program that can be run on Windows, Mac, Haiku, and various Unix clones. What it basically does is offers kind of a minimal Plan 9 kernel. It abstracts the kind of the monitor in the form of the window here, the mouse, keyboard, sometimes audio, exports those over to a CPU server, and lets you run programs that way. So it does allow access back into the host OS by prefixing commands with OS. So I can do uname A. Oops, typed that wrong. OS uname A. There we go. You can see I'm running this on Linux here. It also lets you get back into the host file system in mount term. So this is the file system of the Linux there. You can see it has a home directory instead of user. But when you look at the prompt here, this is actually running on Beefcake, which is my CPU server on my grid. So once you have all the dependencies and get Drawterm compiled, the basic options for it when you run it are U for user. So let's say I want to be normal user on there. If you don't type in a user, it'll pull whatever username you're using from the system, from the host system. You can do H, and that would be the CPU server you want to log into. You can add A for what you want to authenticate off of. This is useful if you have a different one. If you don't put in authentication, it'll prompt after it loads up and sort of default to the CPU server you enter. Another one you can do is R for root. So you can put that to be, whatever you want the root directory to be. If not, it'll go typically up to like the to slash on Unix systems. Another interesting option is uppercase G. If I do this, put in my password, this will run it without any graphics, so this will just sort of kind of work the way like Secure Shell does. And then to get out, you can just hit exit. Or heck, I'll demonstrate some other stuff. Part of how this is useful is, not only can you use it sort of like Secure Shell like this, but again, you can go to mount term. And this also works inside 9front. Anytime you CPU or RCPU to another system, you will get back a mount term that points back to your local file system. I can go here, and I can move files if I want to back and forth. I can both read and write. So like from here, I can, I don't know if I have anything worth reading in here. But yeah, you can just sort of do copy to copy them back and forth. So yeah, removing files, this is an option. For just interacting with the system, it's an option. You can exit out. So yeah, for most of my day-to-day Plan 9 interaction is actually done through Drawterm. I have a multi-monitor Unix workstation, and I'll often have Drawterms on all the windows, contacting various systems with various usernames. I also have it running on my laptop, so when I'm sitting in bed, I can log into the grid and do work. I can move files back and forth. It's very handy. You do have to keep in mind that that there is a 9front specific version that uses the updated encryption. So you'll want to, if you're running 9front, you'll want to get it, the Drawterm from them, and I'll have a link down below to this. Strangely enough, no, I guess not too strange, but there's no real man page for Drawterm because it's not actually a 9front program. It runs in Windows, Mac, Linux, and was recently ported to Haiku too, so you can play with it there. And as always, have fun.